Japan, a land of contrasts. A place where the natural meets the urban. Where the new meets the old. A country where the quiet meets the loud, and the tranquil meets the frenetic. Join me, Bryce Bible, a freshman at the University of Tennessee, as I set out on an adventure of a lifetime to Tokyo, Japan. Together we'll experience some of the amazing food, shopping, entertainment, and nature that Tokyo has to offer. You're watching Bryce Abroad. It has been quite some time since I have uploaded a video, but this video is long overdue. This is going to be the second Japan vlog. It's been quite a long time. This video is going to cover the delicious food that we were able to try during our time in Japan. We got some awesome food, in my opinion the best food in the world. However, the GoPro's audio was a little bit hard to hear, so there will be lots of voiceovers in this. But it was an absolutely amazing trip, and I am excited to be back in the swing of things, making videos again. Hopefully I'll get the rest of them out soon. I am quite excited to show these all to you. And let's begin with the first meal in Japan, horse steak.
So we found the horse steak restaurant, and we ordered using the nifty machine, and now we are waiting for our delicious horse steak.
So if you've followed my channel for a while, you'll probably recall my horse jerky episode. That was the first time I ever ate horse meat, because it's not really available in America. However, this was a restaurant that I was incredibly excited to visit. It is fresh, hot, sizzling horse steak served in a tiny izakaya-style restaurant. It was, if I can recall correctly, around $12 for the plate you see. Completely filled me up, absolutely delicious. Quickly seared on the plate and served with onions and a couple of french fries. Absolutely delicious, and the best meal in Japan, in my opinion, was surprisingly the first meal. All the food was delicious, but that meat was just absolutely incredible. Almost nothing can come close to beating that. Incredibly delicious, finished it quickly, and we actually went to that restaurant a second time. Very, very good. Many people are surprised to learn that the food and drink sold at Japanese convenience stores, konbini, is actually incredibly delicious and healthy. This convenience store was one of the nearest to our hotel and was stopped at almost every single night. They had a huge selection of drinks, fresh bread, snacks, candy, coffee, and everything in between. And this night I got a drink and some banana bread.
So we are back in the room on the first night. Just walked around today, had some awesome horse for dinner, and in the morning I believe we're doing Harajuku. Let's vitamin!
Our hotel in Akihabara had absolutely incredible breakfast. The first breakfast was some curry rice, pickled onions, tomatoes, a little salad, some egg roll bread, a little banana bread, orange juice, and many other things that we didn't try. Absolutely great way to start the morning every day.
So what is your favorite thing you got? I don't know yet. I haven't tried the curry. I haven't tried the chocolate chip embryo bread yet.
I really like the curry, as you can see, but that banana chocolate chip bread is really good, I think, for a pastry. It tastes a lot like the banana roll I got last night at the convenience store. Very good.
We're in Harajuku.
Our first full day in Japan was spent in Harajuku, one of my favorite parts of Tokyo, famous for its pastel street fashion and delicious crepes. When we arrived, it was incredibly early and not yet crowded, as you would expect at about 8 o'clock in the morning. We woke up incredibly early due to the early sunrise and jet lag, So we began by making our way to a Starbucks. I have a tradition in every country I visit. I try my best to go to a Starbucks and see the difference. So at this Starbucks, I decided to get a drink I haven't seen in any other Starbucks, a mango frappuccino.
Yeah, so I got a mango frappuccino. I heard it tastes a lot like the unicorn frappuccino. Good.
All around Takashita Street in Harajuku are many different little shops that sell delicious gelato and ice cream crepes. I have had crepes all around the world. I've had crepes in America, I've had crepes in Paris, I've had crepes now in Japan, and in my opinion, the crepes in Japan top them all. I ordered strawberry kiwi gelato crepes, served in a cone, and on such a hot summer day. It was incredibly hot already at this hour, still pretty early. So the gelato was incredibly refreshing. I don't remember exactly how much these were. I believe for the two of us it ended up being about $12, which is what you'd expect to pay for crepes. In fact, that's a lot less than you'd pay in America most of the time. Absolutely delicious, very beautiful, great for Instagram.
So we got gelato crepes with kiwi and strawberry from a street stand, about $5 each, I think, and a nice melon soda sitting in a back alley. Cool.
Our next stop on our culinary agenda was actually stumbled upon by accident. We were exploring Yoyogi Park, which is right next to Harajuku, and came across in the event square the annual Yoyogi Taiwan Festa. Now, this was incredibly surprising. We had no idea that this was going on. We just heard music playing in the distance and came across a huge crowd. This was a sprawling street festival with all the classic street foods that you would expect from a Japanese street festival.
So it appears that we're at the Taiwan Festival. We saw someone with a Taiwan flag earlier. Didn't know that was going on or that it existed, but here it is.
So we got takoyaki, which is a fried octopus ball.
These tentacles?
Yeah, I've wanted to try this for a while, but never had an opportunity to.
Delicious.
Very good.
Mayonnaise, ginger, octopus, and then taste.
A little bit chewy. Has some bonito fish flakes on it. There's also flamenco dancers over there for whatever reason, so it's a little bit loud. Turkish ice cream, supposedly very chewy. Yep. Very good.
Still a line up out the door. Look at that.
Man. I mean, I guess it's not that far. Still very crowded in Harajuku. A lot more overcast and now not painfully hot.
We then found our way to a store called Daiso. Daiso is sort of like a dollar store in a lot of ways. A lot of the items there are 100 yen. They are very famous for their stationery, lots of cute stuff, but they also have lots of food. So we decided to pick up some snacks while the weather slowly took a turn for the worse. I was lucky to be able to find one of my favorite snacks. I tried this many years ago. Corn soup flavored, sort of like puffed Cheetos snacks. And also some festival dongo, so it was nice to grab some snacks for the later times in the day.
I have been looking for these. I've been looking for these since we arrived in Tokyo. The absolute best crisps I've ever had. They taste like literal corn. It's amazing.
We then took a quick rest at a shop in Harajuku called Momi and Toys, another creperie that also sells boba drinks, kind of like bubble tea, but I decided to get a melon-flavored soda. We had a nice view of the Disney store while we tried to wait out the incoming rain.
Yeah, we're in the Gundam Cafe in Akihabara for dinner, and there's somebody with a Deadpool mask right there. It's cool.
Our next stop was dinner at the Gundam Cafe in Akihabara. Everything in the Gundam Cafe is themed to the popular anime theme Gundam. So I decided to try some Gundam-shaped curry and a very strange tasting drink. I don't really recall exactly what all was in it. I just remember it being very, very strange.
So I got a strawberry drink of some sort. I think you got the food and drink on there. Tastes like strawberry and elderflower. I love floral stuff. That is really good. That is really, really good. My curry has arrived. Very cool Gundam themed. Let's give it. Let's give it a go. Fire, so I'm going to be very cautious here to find. I guess I should use a spoon. Probably, yeah. When they say curry here, it literally means gravy, right? Yeah. So, yeah. Oishi desu ne. Very good curry. Tastes a lot like what we had for breakfast, but that's a good thing. I love the breakfast.
After seeing some very interesting metallic bottles of some sort of liquor in a tourist gift store in the bottom of a Bic Camera, which is a technology store, we decided to make our way back to Akihabara for some lunch. We ended up in a shopping food complex that we went to one more time during our stay and got some soba noodles.
So we got, I believe, cold noodles. We got cold noodles with beef tongue curry. So this is a really cool little, very Japanese place overlooking Akihabara. So I'm excited to see how the food tastes.
One thing that's absolutely great about Tokyo in particular is how accessible all of the food and restaurants are. Everywhere you go, you can be guaranteed that there is an amazing restaurant nearby. You cannot go wrong. I've heard it said many times that Tokyo is one of the most expensive places to live. I see how that could be true. However, you can find a great meal just about anywhere for under $10 for one person, of course. But all of the restaurants you show up at will have incredible service, incredible food, free water, great selection, and oftentimes a great view. This restaurant was across the street from a game station and across from Mandoreki, which is a very famous collectibles store that sells and resells used collectibles. So in a very famous area and a very nice place to stop in for a lunch.
So this looks incredible. We got cold soba and hot beef tongue soup type stuff. Looks really good.
I am a huge fan of trying different sodas and drinks, and this drink, Met Lychee, was absolutely one of the best sodas I have ever had. It is by the brewery Kirin, and you can find it around Tokyo in vending machines for about 100 yen, less than $1. I've never been able to find it in America, but absolutely one of my favorite drinks ever. Next, we ended up at a restaurant in the same shopping complex as where we had lunch, seated next to a very kind elderly Japanese couple that said goodnight to us on their way out.
So, I have some cold tuna over rice with a raw egg or a slightly cooked egg, and some udon. Dad has udon with pork. Beef. Cool. So, this looks very good. I'm excited.
The next day for lunch, we enjoyed a nice meal in the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building, the Tokyo Tochosha. with a beautiful view of the surrounding city. Even sometimes you're able to see Mount Fuji from the building. The observation deck was free, and the prices in the restaurant were incredibly reasonable. For each of our meals, we paid approximately $12, and it even included a drink.
So it turns out there's a restaurant in the Metropolitan building that's pretty good prices. Looked like it had interesting food, and this view. So that's what we're eating. I got salmon. What'd you get?
Hamburger steak.
Cool.
I was unaware until I actually came across it that Krispy Kreme Donuts is also in Japan, so we decided to stop by and try a matcha green tea donut. It was absolutely incredible, as you would expect from Krispy Kreme. Next up, we visited Robot Restaurant. However, this falls more on the entertainment side of things. So if you are interested in seeing what this flashy place is about, I suggest you check out the entertainment episode, which will be coming out soon. Later that night, we ended up in a very nice little ramen restaurant. First time I had ramen in Japan, and I believe that was the only time I had ramen in Japan, surprisingly. It was incredibly good pork ramen, absolutely delicious, and not too expensive, as you'd come to expect in Tokyo after being there for a few days. The next day led us to a restaurant known as Ginza Lion. Ginza Lion is a British pub-themed restaurant, and while there was nothing inherently wrong with the food, it was my least favorite meal in Japan. I got some fish. The fish was not very filling, more expensive than most of the other things I purchased in Japan. Perfectly prepared fine, just not much of it there. And Dad's meal was a ketchup rice-based dish. Now this is something very interesting and seemingly exclusive to Japan. This ketchup rice is commonly found in omelet rice, omurice. It tastes exactly like it sounds, like ketchup and rice, although there isn't actually any ketchup in it, which is kind of strange. Something interesting about this restaurant is on the receipt after your meal, you had a chance of winning a free drink or a free other meal of some sort. Along with my cold fish, I purchased a mango beverage, which was my favorite part of the meal. That was a very good drink. Perfectly fine restaurant if there's nothing else you'd prefer, but in my opinion, a fairly uninteresting place to go.
So I got raw mackerel, where I believe it's cabbage, some sort of other vegetable. Comes with a little bit of lettuce, and I got a mango drink. He just got a beer, I guess. Oh, he has hot food coming out. Chicken and rice. Chicken and rice coming. Yeah, chicken and rice. I'm going white boy today. Looks delicious. Beans of life.
Later in the day was one of my most interesting experiences during my trip to Japan. I have been learning a language known as Esperanto, which is considered to be an international language, for a few years now. It just so happens that there is a vegan cafe themed for Esperanto in Tokyo. So I had the pleasure to have a nice meal there with my dad, with the owner of the cafe, and a man from France. And we spent the evening chatting in Esperanto, playing some music, watching some music videos, and eating delicious vegan food. It was a great meal. I've never really had vegan food before, so it was absolutely incredible to get to try this. I have written and thought and talked about this particular experience so much. Really, really life-changing to do something like this, so it was absolutely incredible. Next, in the beautiful Shinjuku Gyoen Imperial Gardens, we visited Rakute Chashitsu, which is Rakute Tea House. This tea house serves traditional Japanese sweets, wagashi, and traditional Japanese tea, matcha. I am a huge fan of matcha tea, and I wanted to go to a full tea ceremony, but at this nice place, you buy a ticket out of a vending machine and sit down, and a nice lady in a kimono serves you your traditional Japanese sweets and tea at a very reasonable price. Great to enjoy, convenient to the rest of the beautiful park. And if you're interested in seeing the rest of Shinjuku Gyoen, including their greenhouse, I suggest you check out the nature episode that will also be coming out soon. After another hot day in the Tokyo summer, we decided to make another stop at another konbini. This is actually the same konbini near our hotel, but I decided to give you a little walkthrough so you can just see how extensive the selection is. There are 4 coolers full of standard drinks, most of which are water and tea and beer and such. And then there's an entire shelf of flavored coffees and teas. These are very, very good, similar to the bottled glass teas and coffees that you can get in America, but the variety and price is a lot better. So I got a strawberry smoothie. And then this particular konbini had fresh bread and snacks. I decided to get some grilled dango, and also just some various drinks for the rest of the night, as well as some onigiri rice balls. Onigiri rice balls are sort of like a stuffed sushi, very great snack or meal, incredibly filling, and a great price and great option if you need a quick meal.
So something that's a pretty big part of Japanese culture that we don't have in the US is the culture behind vending machines. At every corner you go to, there will be a vending machine, and it also will be the only place that has a trash can in all of Tokyo. Not really exaggerating at all there, but this is one of the strangest places for vending machines in all of Tokyo. It's owned by the man that lives above, and it has some very strange things in it. For example, you have right here canned bear meat. Right over here you have some balls, erasers, even a giant beetle. That being said, there's always a lot to choose from in these vending machines, even the ones in normal places. So I'm gonna try that. Number 39. So, what I purchased is going to be very interesting. Corn no kanji that I don't know. So, I believe the drink I just purchased is a corn flavored drink. Let's pop this open and see. Kanpai. Certainly corn. Very sweet. Not bad, honestly. But yeah, so you'll see a lot of these here in Tokyo and all over Japan, so go find something interesting.
As you can see by my lack of reaction and my father's reaction, this was literally a can of creamed corn. Kids, learn your kanji in school.
That's just corn squeezins without the squeezins.
Yeah.
With one final meal, some noodles at the airport, absolutely delicious, our trip to Japan came to a close, unfortunately fast. This trip changed something in me, sparked something in me that makes me unable to stop thinking about going back. The contrasts in food, the fact that you have some of the most expensive cuisine in the world next to some of the cheapest cuisine that is just as delicious, and the the culture of sitting down and enjoying the textures and flavors of a tea ceremony, yet at the same time visiting a bustling izakaya steakhouse with only 5 seats. This is this contrast that is apparent in Tokyo that I have yet to see anywhere else in the world. The food, the culture, the people, everything in Tokyo was incredible and amazing, and I could not recommend it more. I can't wait to go back and film some more of the delicious food and culture in Japan, and I plan to do so as soon as possible. I hope you'll stay tuned for the next vlogs. Shopping, Disney, nature, we have a lot more footage to put together, and I am very sad that it took this long. But this trip was incredible, and it was a walk down memory lane, editing these videos together almost a year later. Once again, thank you for watching, and I hope you will be staying tuned for the next one. See you soon, Japan.
Not a fan, but I can't wait. Oh. It has pieces of corn in it. Did you choke? No, I didn't choke, but I wasn't expecting pieces of corn to fill my mouth.
Actual corn.
Okay.